Today I want to take a few minutes and talk about the issue of Catholic schools closing throughout the United States. As you noticed in the videos that you've watched and the articles that you've read, Catholic schools are closing throughout the United States. In many cases, those schools are inner city schools. Does that make it any more or less tragic? No. The reality is our schools are closing because of the fact that those institutions do not have a solvent financial platform. The financial viability of those institutions is such that they cannot be underwritten by the parish and or the diocesan office. When Catholic schools started many years ago, it was our role to educate those that no one else wanted. Catholic schools were supported by parishes, especially in the northeast portion of the United States. Catholic schools were aligned with every parish. Every parish had a school. As the number of sisters and brothers and priests declined, so too did the available workforce. So as a result, the laity came in and they required higher salaries than the sisters, the brothers, or the priests. The real issue is that we forgot to look down the road. We forgot to plan for that. Those institutions that plan for the change from religious in leadership positions to lay individuals in leadership positions, those institutions have done much better. If you also look at the data, you will find that independent Catholic schools seem to function much better than those that are run and operated by the diocesan office. Independent schools have been successful. Why? Well, if you look at their leadership model, they have put the leadership on notice saying that it is your responsibility as the leader of the institution to make this school financially and academically and religiously viable. Too often, administrators were placed into positions in Catholic schools and they did not have the training, especially in the area of finances and marketing and communication, to build a program that would attract students and also attract investors who were alumni, who were past parents, who were current parents, and members of the local business communities. It's a tragedy whenever Catholic schools close. As you've seen in the videos, the impact of closing a Catholic school is devastating. When a school has been around for 150 years and suddenly someone comes down and says, you're no longer good enough to stay in business, parents, alumni turn to one another and say, well, why not? I'm a firm believer that if Catholic schools are going to survive, they must have strong leadership that realizes that we have a religious responsibility, and that is our primary goal. But we also have a responsibility to academic excellence and to financial stability. We have to look at additional sources of revenue. We have to look at the product, basically the students who graduate from our school, and look at the quality of the education. Catholic schools for so long have been somewhat reluctant to market themselves. Now we're suddenly in a rush to market ourselves. Why? Because people for years said we're going to come to Catholic schools simply because we are a Catholic school. Parents were a part of the parish, and as a result, They automatically sent their children to Catholic schools. Those days are long gone. If you look at the pews in our churches, they're not as full as they once were. The number of parishioners who contribute to the parish operations has declined dramatically. Why? We're not attracting parishioners. We're not attracting young people to our schools. And it's not a simple solution, but it's one that we must be honest about. Why aren't people coming into our parishes? Do we change our value set? No. We have to make our value set clearer to people. Staying in the middle does nothing for us. We need to make sure that our gospel message is clear in our parishes and in our schools. We need support from local priests who for a number of years now have not been overly enthusiastic about having a parish because they felt that it detracted from what they could do. The future of our Catholic Church is dependent upon those individuals who are in our Catholic schools. That's where perhaps our next source of leadership will come. You, as an administrator in a Catholic school, must take a hard look at every program that is offered in your school. Does it fit with your vision? Does it fit with your mission? Then you must turn to the financial end and say, where are we spending our money? Where are we getting our money? What sources of revenue do we have? At some point, we will price ourselves out of business if our tuitions keep going up and up and up. But the problem is we need to pay competitive wages. As many of you realize, it's hard to attract teachers because of the low salaries in many of our schools. Over the course of the next 14 weeks, we're going to be talking about what you can do, what you must do as a school leader to ensure that Catholic schools are not simply just a footnote in history. If we are going to be and remain as leaders in education, the trendsetters in education, it is incumbent that we start today. We start with a vision, a plan, and it starts with the leadership. Creating a shared vision within the school community of teachers, of students, of parents, and of prospective parents. How often have schools looked at the baptism rates in a particular parish to see how many of those children who were baptized, who are still members of the parish, come to our Catholic schools? They'll come to our religious education programs, but why aren't they coming to our schools? That's what we'll be addressing in the next 14 weeks. If you have any questions or thoughts about this particular video, please feel free to contact me by email or by phone call. Again, as always, I appreciate it, and thank you and have a great day.